What would you do if the woman you swore to cherish, the one who wore your ring, was secretly carving out your heart with another man's hands? The night everything broke was a Tuesday. 2 a.m., the glow of her phone screen painting her face in an eerie blue light. I wasn't supposed to be awake, but a nightmare had jolted me. I saw her thumb hovering over a message, then deleting it. A flicker of panic in her eyes, quickly masked. My gut twisted, a cold, hard knot forming where warmth used to be. She turned, feigning sleep, but I saw the tremor in her hand, the way her breath hitched. That night, the silence in our bedroom in our Chicago home, usually a comfort, became a suffocating shroud. Hiding a truth I was terrified to uncover, I knew with a chilling certainty that my life was about to shatter. For years, Sarah and I had built a life in Chicago, a brownstone in Lincoln Park, weekend trips to Lake Geneva, the kind of comfortable existence people envied. I was a software engineer. She was a marketing executive. We were a team, or so I thought. The first crack appeared subtly, a shift in her routine. Late nights at the office became more frequent, her phone always face down, locked. She'd brush off my questions with a dismissive wave, a sharp tone I hadn't heard before. Just busy, Mark. You wouldn't understand the pressure. I tried to ignore it, to rationalize. Work was demanding. But the unease gnawed at me. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A notification from an unknown number. Can't wait for Miami, babe. XOXOD. My blood ran cold. Miami. We had no plans for Miami. My hands trembled as I unlocked her phone, a password I knew by heart. The messages were a sickening kaleidoscope of betrayal. Daniel, her new boss, a smug, silver-haired shark I'd met once at a company picnic. Their plans for a business trip to Miami, complete with hotel bookings at the Fontainebleau, were laid out in excruciating detail. Pictures, too. Pictures of them laughing, touching, in places she'd told me she was working late. The humiliation was a physical blow. I felt like a fool, a cuckold. Sarah, the woman I loved, was a stranger. She became cold, manipulative. Every conversation was a minefield. She'd gaslight me, twisting my concerns into accusations of insecurity. You're being paranoid, Mark. I'm working myself to the bone for *Gus. Her arrogance was breathtaking. She truly believed she was untouchable, that her lies were impenetrable. Daniel, too, seemed to revel in his conquest. His social media posts hinting at a lavish lifestyle, a new special someone. They were living a fantasy, trampling over my reality. I broke. I spent nights staring at the ceiling of our bedroom, the same room where she'd planned her escapades. The pain was a constant dull ache, occasionally flaring into a searing agony. I lost weight. My work suffered. My friends noticed, but I couldn't bring myself to confess the sordid truth. I was drowning in shame and despair. But then, a flicker. A spark of something cold and hard ignited within me. If she thought she could destroy me and walk away unscathed, she was gravely mistaken. I started gathering proof. It's not just for a divorce, but for something more. I hired a private investigator, a discreet man named Frank from a small office in a nondescript building on West Madison Street. He was a ghost, leaving no trace. Documented everything. The clandestine meetings at the Peninsula Hotel bar, the stolen weekends in Dallas, the lavish gifts Daniel bought her, set up a hidden camera in our home office, capturing her hushed phone calls, her excited whispers about Daniel. I meticulously copied every incriminating text, every email, every photo. I built a fortress of evidence, brick by painful brick. Then, I began to set my traps. I was no longer the loyal, broken husband. I was a strategist. I consulted with a sharp, no-nonsense divorce attorney, Ms. Evelyn Reed, whose office overlooked Lake Michigan. She specialized in high-set, high-conflict cases. I also quietly started transferring assets, securing my financial future, making sure Sarah wouldn't walk away with half of what I'd built. I leaked anonymous tips to a few key people in Sarah's company, hinting at unethical behavior and a conflict of interest involving Daniel. Not outright accusations, just enough to plant seeds of doubt. I knew Sarah valued her reputation above all else. The public exposure was brutal. It started with a whisper, then a murmur, then a roar. The anonymous tips led to an internal investigation at her company. The evidence I'd gathered, carefully curated and anonymously submitted, painted a damning picture. Sarah was fired, not just for the affair, but for using company resources and time for personal gain, for breaching ethical conduct. The divorce papers landed on her desk the same day. The evidence was overwhelming. Her carefully constructed world crumbled. Her friends, who had once admired her, now looked at her with pity or disgust. Her parents, pillars of their community, were mortified. Daniel, the smug affair partner, was also implicated, his career taking a significant hit. He quickly distanced himself from Sarah, proving himself to be the coward I suspected. Sarah was completely ruined. Financially, socially, professionally, the divorce settlement left her with little, her reputation in tatters. She tried to fight, to deny, to manipulate, but the mountain of evidence I had compiled was insurmountable. Her screams, when she saw the final judgment, echoed through the sterile courtroom in downtown Chicago, a sound I had anticipated, a sound that brought me no joy, only a profound, chilling emptiness. I had lost everything. I saw her once, months later, on Michigan Avenue. She was walking alone, her shoulders slumped, a ghost of the vibrant woman she once was. She didn't see me. I watched her disappear into the crowd, a solitary figure in a city that had once been her stage. My wedding band, the one she had worn, was now melted down, recast into a simple, unadorned silver ring I wore on my right hand. Constant, cold reminder.